Alright, so in order to release this locking barrel so that you can get to the bottom of it and then actually release it from inside to remove it outwards, you've got to remove this plate here from the base plate of the whole locking mechanism. To do that, there's 4 rivets that you need to remove. There's this one here on the back and 3 underneath. 1, 2 and 3. And once you've done that, it releases this well enough that you can start to move it around and lift it up. Okay, it is possible to get to the bottom of this now by putting the key in and turning this out of the locked position. With it in the locked position, it interferes too much with this part, but by putting the key in and removing it from the locked position, this does lift up adequately and out of the way to be able to drill these 3 rivets out, which means then that having undone that lock, it was possible to rotate it round and then move it off. So I've now got that portion out and removed. So now I can drill those 3 rivets out, which holds the locking cluster onto that particular part of the plate. I'll do that next. Drilled those 3 rivets out the back. It wanted to come apart because of the spring that you see in the bottom there. Alright, so this then, if I gently release that, there goes the spring. There goes the spring. Right, so that spring in there, obviously against the plate, there's a tiny little divot on the receiving plate there where the spring would sit over. So if you do end up having to reassemble that, then that's what's inside that piece. The next instructions in the service manual for the Recall say to unlock it and then remove the locking arm. So I'll do that next. So by putting the key in, I'm then able to move the locking arm out of the way of this part, this flangey part, and then I'm pretty sure that I should be able to just remove that down. Okay, so with a little bit of wiggling, this does come off. Okay, and then I'm told that that last throw there is the locking pin. So let's see if we can get it in. There we go. Alright, so I've got the key in there, so this should hold all the throws nicely. There we go. Cool. Alright, so that piece there should be the equivalent of what you've got coming in the full lock kit. Alright. I'm sure that with a bit of practice we can figure out which orientation it goes back in, but we do have, I've managed to extract the currently keyed bike lock out of this pannier. So I'll go now and find the other spare key, the one which is just the blade, and pop it in there to retain them. And then hopefully this should be all that you need in the other replacement part. Cool. Okay, so just to wrap this up then, I've replaced that with my spare blade key, which is obviously the same cut as all of the other ones on the bike, and I've wrapped it with some tape nice and tight to hold all of the throws in, and I've also put the spring on the end there because I think that you may or may not get that with the new one. So anyway, all of that's going to go into a nice Ziploc bag and be kept safe and sound, ready for when you need to. Okay.